Hi guys, James here and welcome back to another video on the channel. So the guys over at Marstons Breweries have been in touch with me to say that their Pedigree Amber Ale is the new ale in the Pukka Pies steak and ale pie. And to celebrate this, they have asked if I fancy the challenge of coming up with the ultimate side dish to go along with the new pie. Now, never being one to back down from a challenge, of course I gratefully accept it. So I started to think, what's traditional? Pie and mash, that's a good staple to start with. But I think we can take it up a notch and take it to the next level. So we're going to actually do pie and smash. Now, I'm not talking about that powdered potato you buy in a tub. We are talking about smashed potatoes. So it's pretty quick to prepare. A little bit of time goes into the cooking, but that's where all the flavour starts to really come together. So we're going to start off with our potatoes. I have my 35cm skillet here. If you don't have a skillet, you can use a roasting tin, it'll do the same job, but this is sort of the perfect size to put onto the barbecue. Now we have around 1.5 kilos of new baby potatoes, so we're going to add some basic flavours into these and then roast them in the barbecue. You can do it in your oven, but I want you to do it on your barbecue. Into this then we are going to add a little bit of oil. We'll go with a little bit of this hickory smoked oil. You don't want too much to drizzle over, enough to coat the potatoes, but you don't really want it sitting in the skillet. Next up then, let's think herbs. So we're going with rosemary. Take the leaves off and just roughly break those up. Again, we're sticking with traditions here. We're going to go garlic, herbs, all go perfectly well with a good steak and ale pie. Then we're going in with a little bit of thyme. So again, I just want to strip off the leaves, none of them woody stems going in there. And next up then, I'm going to pop in a couple of garlic cloves. We have 3 here. These are quite big. If you're using smaller garlic cloves, you maybe use a few extras. And then lastly, we'll go in with a good sprinkle of salt, a good grinding of pepper. Okay, get in there with your hands, give it all a good mix around. You want to make sure all the potatoes are well coated in the oil, and as I say, those herbs are evenly distributed throughout it. You can add a little bit more oil if you need it. Everything looks pretty good to me, apart from hands. So we're going to roast this. You could boil them, but roasting is just going to help that flavour develop a little bit more. I have the barbecue set up for indirect cooking at a temperature of around 190 to 200. So we're going to pop these on, keep an eye on them, probably take around an hour. But we'll pop these onto the grill and we'll let them roast, give them their time, make sure they're nice and soft in the centre, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to finish them off. Now you might be thinking, James, why do you not just boil the potatoes and be done with it? 15 minutes and it's job done. But I want to take time with it. Marstons have been brewing since 1834. They ferment their beers in oak casks over time. They add a little bit of yeast into the bottles so it's still fermenting whenever you get it. So they've taken time into that process. Pukka Pies have been making pies for over 50 years. So I think you can spare an hour to make sure the side dish that goes along with that has the same love and care put into it. Now, ultimately what we're here for is flavour, so by roasting those potatoes slowly in the oil and the garlic and herbs all mixing in there, that's what's going to give you the best flavour at the end of it all, and that's what we're here for. Now there is one other little thing we're going to finish it off with, and that is a Parmesan bacon crumb. So once we smash these down, we're going to add that crumb over the top, stick it back on the barbecue just to let it toast a little bit. And that's just going to add an extra depth of flavour to it. So we'll set up now, I'll show you how to get that crumb ready for whenever it's time to put onto the top of the potatoes. Okay, so here are the 3 ingredients for our crumb that's going to go on top. We're starting off with breadcrumbs. It's around a cup or 1 slice of bread, pretty much just blitzed up. I have also then took around 6 rashers of streaky bacon, cook those until they're nice golden crispy brown, and then blitz them up so they're these little fine bacony goodness pieces. You can do it with a knife, it's just going to take a little bit longer if you don't have a food processor. And then we also have around half a cup of Parmesan. So let's just grate it finely using a microplane. But these three things together are going to make up our crumb. So we'll go in first with our bacon, and then our cheese, and we'll slowly start to bring that together. I can hear the potatoes sizzling away in the background. You want to keep an eye on them, give them a shake every now and again just to turn them round, make sure they're not getting too much colour on one side. But make sure they're well away from the heat source, and they should be fine to sit and roast there. You want them to crisp up and golden up a little bit. You just don't want them to burn. Now sometimes when you're making a crumb topping, you would add butter to it, just to help it go nice and golden brown and form it into a crumb. But the fat off the bacon, I think it's going to be enough in this one just to leave it. Once that's spread over the top of the smashed potatoes, it should go nice and golden brown once we put it back onto the barbecue. Yeah, I think that looks good. So we'll leave that be. Now it's sitting ready for whenever we need it. What we're going to do now is just let the potatoes go, and we'll check back in around half an hour, 40 minutes time, just to see how they're coming along before we lift them off, smash them and add this back on. Okay, at this point our potatoes are pretty much ready. We've tested them with a toothpick. They're nice and soft all the way through. The skins have gone nice golden brown. That garlic has broken down and mashed down into a lovely sweet flavour that we're going to mix through the mash. So the next thing to do then is get a good old potato masher. We're going to mash these out and then get our toppings onto them. So just hold your skillet steady. The potatoes are nice and soft. Just go slowly so nothing jumps out of the skillet. Now the difference between smashed potatoes and mashed potatoes is that smashed ones are still a little bit rustic. So you're not mashing them until they're creamy smooth. You want them sort of those little chunks through there. So I think that's good. So some nice big pieces. It's all nice and soft. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So spread it out across the entire skillet, and we're going to go on with our topping that we made earlier. So that's our mixture of bacon crumb, Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs. Once you've it's nicely spread over the entire skillet, we're not going to season this anymore. We've got plenty of salt and pepper in there already. Our crumb is full of bacon and Parmesan, which is going to act as a seasoning as well, so it's going to add salt in there. So just take your crumb, sprinkle it over the entire surface. You don't want too heavy a layer of it, you just want it nice and evenly over everything. Right, so we're almost there. We're going to put the pie on now as well. The pie takes around 25 minutes in the oven. Oven is the only way to do them, gives that nice crisp pastry. We're going to stick these back on, and that'll be enough time then to let that crumb really toast on top of it and let that Parmesan melt into it. Then we're going to serve up. So that is my version of pie and smash. One thing left to do, which is always the best bit, and that's to dig in and give it a try. If you can, definitely give it a go in cast iron. The potatoes get that nice sort of crispy exterior, so you get nice crispy bits through it. Let's go. Match made in heaven. That garlic that is roasted along with the potatoes, whenever I mash them all up, that is smashed through them all, and great sort of sweet garlic taste off it. That crumb on top, the nice saltiness with the bacon and parmesan, perfection. Of course, only one thing to wash it down with. Awesome. So I hope you give the side a try. Definitely try out the new pies. Great flavour off them with that added ale in there. Of course, I'll leave the full recipe in the description of this video if you want to check it out. Huge thanks to Marstons for getting in touch and setting me this little challenge. It's been fun to try and come up with something. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.